Hi everyone, sorry, long time no see. I haven't done an update in quite a while, and I will explain why now. So this will be my 6 and 7 week update. The last one I did was my 4 and 5 week update, so this will be 6 and 7. So today, as of today, it's Monday, and Tuesdays are my turnover days. So as of today, I'm 7 weeks. What is it? It's 5 or 6 days. So it'll be 8 weeks tomorrow. So I guess that's 6 days, right? So 6 weeks was a insane, very, very insane week. As you can see, I look pretty horrible right now. Apologies. I've been really, really, really sick. And that's also why there was a lag in me filming this video. I would have liked to film this video last week because I wanted to start doing weekly updates possibly, but I think I'm going to start doing that a little bit towards my second trimester. So, let's see. So I turned 6 weeks on April 17th, and that was a very, very exhausting and crazy week. I was feeling great, super awesome, right up until I turned 6 weeks, and that's when everyone said that symptoms usually start to kick in. So I was naive in thinking that because I felt so awesome 4 and 5 weeks that I would probably feel not insanely horrible, but just it's still bad, but just not horrifically out of control horrible. So I turned 6 weeks and I started noticing the symptoms were progressing a little bit more. Sorry, there's a freaking huge spider on the floor. Great. And let's see. So everything was all good, and then I turned 6 weeks, and oh gosh. You know the worst thing about spiders is you see it, and then you look, and it's just completely gone. Like, I don't know where that fucker went. Excuse my language. That's another thing I'm going to have to work on. I'm not, like, an insanely huge swearer, but I guess for a lady, I have a bit of a foul mouth at times. So I got to work on that. Anyways, ADD. I was feeling all good until Friday. I started feeling pretty shitty on Thursday, April, I think it was the 20th. So a couple days after I turned 6 weeks. So I was 6 weeks and like 2 or 3 days, since Tuesday is my turnover day. And I went out that Thursday with a friend, and I did too much. And what I think happened, now looking back on it, I think that I went out and did way too much and pushed myself way too hard, and I think I got sick. Because what happened after that was just, I've never been through anything like that before in my life, and I was a pretty sick kid. So around that Thursday, I went out. I live in San Francisco, and I went to Oakland on a bar, and I was on my feet all day, just having fun with my friends. I met up with a couple of my friends there, and we hung out, and got some food with my friend. I went into a rage because I really had been craving Taco Bell super badly. I really like putting nacho cheese on my chalupas, and that's like my thing at Taco Bell. And I really, really, really wanted it. And I looked it up, and there was like a Taco Bell like 2 blocks away from where we were in downtown Oakland. I was like, yes. So we walked there, and it's like 7:30, and I get to the door, and I don't see anyone in there, and I see somebody cleaning up, and I try to open the door, and they're like, no, close. And I was so freaking pissed. Oh my god. My friend that was with me doesn't understand that Taco Bell is one of my guilty pleasures, like the only fast foods I like, actually really do like. I'm a pretty picky eater, and he didn't understand. He's like, we can just go to a regular taqueria. We live in San Francisco with like the best taquerias in the freaking country, and you want Taco Bell? I'm like, yo, you don't understand this chalupa thing. But anyways, so fuck Taco Bell. Went back to the city, went to El Farolito, like one of the most popular, famous taquerias. 24th and Mission. I got my steak quesadilla, and that was pretty good. I wolfed the whole thing down. It was so good at horchata. So delicious. And then I passed the fuck out working on my swearing. Please comment below if you don't like the swearing, and I will cut that out because I'm not sure who's watching these videos right now. I'm assuming it's probably just other ladies that are in the same boat as me or people that know me. So let me know if I really do swear too much. Anyways, so I munched out, I passed the fuck out, it was awesome, and then I woke up the next day feeling weird. Like, I don't know, I just felt, that was the first day I was like, holy shit, like, I definitely have some crazy symptoms coming on. So that was Friday. Now I'm on the next day, Friday the 21st. And the day was okay. I can't really remember exactly what I did that whole day. But I do know that by that evening, like 11 o'clock Friday, the 21st, I was already freaking dying. And I was riding a scooter. I ride a scooter sometimes. And I noticed that I had to go insanely slow because just all the motions were making me so nauseous and car sick and dizzy. And it was really, really unbearable. I barely freaking made it back to where I had to leave the scooter off. It was really awful. And it's like 3 blocks from my house, and normally it's not that big of a deal. There is a really big hill. I live in San Francisco. That's the only shady part of the walk, and I could barely make it up the hill. Like, I had to call my boyfriend and be like, you gotta help me, because I feel like I'm dying. And so pretty much from that point on, Friday, everything is just a huge lump of the worst sickness I have ever had in my life. And like I said before, I've been pretty sick throughout my life. I've had mono, I've had pneumonia twice, so I've been really sick. I've had, food poisoning, possible even alcohol poisoning. Oh God. Being young, I was just not a very healthy person. I'm going to be 28 next month, if you're curious how old I am. So yeah, that weekend, not the one that just happened, the weekend before that, the weekend of the 21st, was the worst weekend probably of my life, besides when I lost my dog and my grandma. That's a different kind, but sickness wise, this was hands down the most sick I have ever been in my life. And I was super convinced. I told my boyfriend, I was like, I definitely have HG, the I can never pronounce it. The thing that Kate Middleton, the princess, had with the severe morning sickness. So you have to go to the hospital and stuff for it. So I'm like, I have that. Hands down, have that. Like, I'm freaking dying. I literally said, I'm dying. Like, I was crying and puking and like screaming like I'm freaking dying. Like, I don't know what to do. And it was just horrific. I was stuck in this bathroom for like all of Saturday, all of Sunday. Because I was in my room just throwing up and heaving so loudly into garbage bags, and I hate puking in garbage bags, but I was just so weak. I couldn't even get out of bed to like run to the bathroom and throw up, and I didn't want to risk not making it to the bathroom in time, so I had bags I was puking in. It's just so awful. And then I finally had remembered hearing, my friend has this illness, and I forget what it's called. It's like it starts with a C, and it's a vomiting disease or illness. And I remember hearing about that, and it was like, just reading some article about it, and one of the things the article said was the only way that people could get relief from that vomiting was getting in a super hot, like almost literally some people scalded themselves and burned themselves because that's how hot they got the water. And I remembered that, so I was like, okay, I'm going to get into the shower and try that and see if it works, because the shower and water's always been really soothing to me, and I really like the sound of running water too, like to sleep to and stuff. So I got in the shower. I was freaking shaking there like a leaf because my bathroom's really cold at first. You have to turn the heater on and like get the hot water going to get the... It's just really drafty bathroom, so I was just freezing, standing there and waiting for the water to get warm. It was just so awful, but it was nice because I was able to lay down in the shower and still throw up, so I didn't have to like get... that's how exhausted I was. Like sitting up to throw up was even like, I was so weak that was still like a challenge for me. It was just so fucked. Like, sorry, but that is the only way to ever describe that. I cannot even tell you guys how horrifically sick I was. Like, I got really pissed too because I tried telling some of my friends, some of my mommy friends, and they were fucking telling me all this know-it-all stuff, and I'm like, I don't think you understand how sick I am because you're sitting here patronizing me and being all condescending about pregnancy and stuff just because you've had one kid. Sorry, but I don't tell people what to do with their bodies or children. If somebody asks me for advice, I'll give them advice, of course, but I really hate unsolicited advice, especially when it's not constructive criticism and it's just pretty much criticism. And I received that from one of my friends that I really didn't expect it from, actually. That was really shitty. And I ended up having to block my friend on all my social media because I just finally had it with her shit and her telling me all this horrible stuff. I was like in the middle of all that sickness, I somehow managed to get on the phone, and I have like a really, really awesome, small, close-knit community of TTC, Angel Moms, and, you know, just regular mom friends on Instagram. And they have been... I could not do this without those women. And I know some of you guys are on here watching that too. So, hi guys. But yeah, I couldn't do it without you guys. So I managed to get on there to ask you guys for some advice and just let you know how sick I was. I was freaking dying. And, you know, I didn't expect one of my good friends to give me shit. I had posted a picture of some crackers and a tropical Sprite. And you see, I used to be a huge soda drinker. Loved soda. Drank way too much soda. I knew it was bad for me. It's just all bad. And now, ever since I got pregnant, I don't really like the taste of soda that much anymore. And I really hardly drink soda at all anymore. Maybe like once or twice, a couple times a week now, which is better than like every single day having a couple Cokes or something. So definitely have cut back so much on the sugar and soda, which has been really awesome. I'm so proud of myself for that. But to be honest, it's been easy because it just doesn't taste good and swell with me. But anyways, I really love that tropical Sprite, and it's hard to find somewhere. And I went into 7-Eleven to get a ginger ale or a Sprite on my way home. This was the night before I got super sick. And I was just feeling so low, and I was just going to get like a cheap dollar one, but then I saw that they had those, and I really liked those, so I just was like, fuck it, I'll just treat myself to that, since it's they always tell you when you're sick, just stick to clear beverages. If you're going to have something bubbly or soda, get like a Sprite or something, don't get Coke. So I got that, because I thought it would maybe cheer me up a little bit too, and I posted a picture of my tropical Sprite and my crackers, and that they were kind of helping, but I was still pretty much throwing up everything that went in my body. I was throwing up everything in my body until the point where I was just throwing up so much acid, and it was just so bad. Like, I don't, if you've ever had that where you're just heaving and you can feel that your stomach is empty and there's nothing to throw up in it at all, but your stomach still, heaving and clenching, and I don't even know what you call it, but that is just the worst feeling. And I was really hungry at the same time too. It was so bizarre. It was being the most nauseous I've ever been and being the most hungry I've ever been at the same exact freaking time. So it was really hard, so confusing. I was like, what the hell? I know I need to eat, but I can't eat. I can't hold it down. It was so bad. So my friend gave me shit for the spray. She's very into organic, holistic kinds of things, and I'm all for that. I love that shit. But to be honest, I have the worst eating and health habits, and I've been working on that a lot. But I can admit it, I'm not in denial of that. And I was just asking for some support. I was like, I'm freaking dying, guys. Like, I can't even really keep this spray and stuff down. And my friend was like, why are you poisoning your baby with that soda? And if you're watching this, dude, I'm just being real. Like, when somebody is telling you that they're the most sick that they've ever been in their lives, and you're sitting there telling them that them drinking one soda is them poisoning their baby, and then I'm still at risk for miscarriage, how is that helpful? That, like, if you're watching this, you shouldn't be baffled as to why I blocked you, because who in their right mind tells their friend, let alone, that they're poisoning their baby while they're sick as hell, and that they should do that they should you should still remember that I should still keep in mind constantly that I am at risk for miscarriage until 12 weeks, which is not actually true, because you are at risk for miscarriage and stillbirth your entire pregnancy. The percentage goes down at 12 weeks, but it's not like it doesn't happen. I have so many friends that have had stillbirths, and I've had a possible chemical pregnancy before myself that I will talk about in another video. So it's something that I've thought about a lot. Miscarriage and stillbirth, infant loss, all that. I've thought and dwelled upon that a lot before I got pregnant. And I've always known that those things are possible, and nothing is ever promised, unfortunately. So it's very hard to be so sick and have somebody telling you that your baby could die too. So sorry for that rant, but that was just made me feel so bad. And right after I read that and all that stuff, I got sick all over again, and stress was on top of already being nauseous. I was also starting to get more sick from being stressed out from reading all that horrible shit. So that was pretty awful. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. So that weekend, worst weekend of my life, I finally Monday was able to stop puking for just a little bit. I'd taken a little bit of Zofran, which I was really upset about and cried about. My friend also gave me shit for that, because she seemed to forget that I do know that there are risks associated with taking Zofran when you're pregnant. It has been proven and linked to possibly causing cleft palates and cleft lips. I know this. I've known this since before I got pregnant. I've only had to take Zofran twice while pregnant, and once through an IV, so 3 times. No more than that. And I'm pretty sure the first 2 times I took it orally, I threw it up. So who knows? I told the ER that. I expressed my concerns to the doctor. She told me that. She talked to me about the risks. She said it's not as severe as a lot of people make it out to seem. Like, it's not like you take Zofran, your baby is definitely going to have a cleft palate. They say in the first trimester, if you're going to take it, the first trimester is the best time, and will cause the less amount of damage if you just don't take it very often. So the only time I for sure got the Zofran was through the IV at the hospital. I think that was like 4 milligrams, like probably the equivalent of 1 pill or something. So I'm not super worried about that. It was really shitty though because the doctor, it was shitty and awesome at the same time. I had a really amazing doctor at the emergency room I went to, and that's why I went to this emergency room, because they have the best doctors. Technically, I'm not supposed to go there for my insurance. I have to pay a copay to go to any hospital that isn't General Hospital on my insurance plan. But for me, paying $20 to go to a better hospital, General Hospital is amazing, don't get me wrong. But to not have to wait as long and know that they have really, really good, amazing doctors and nurses at CPMC Davies Center here in San Francisco. I love, love, love that hospital. I've seen tons of doctors there. I got my tonsillectomy when I was 15 there, and the ear, nose, and throat doctor was the coolest doctor one of the coolest doctors I've ever had. And every single time I've gone to the ER in the last couple of years, I've gone there to Davies, and they're always awesome. I've only had one shitty doctor there one time, and that was it. And they've always been amazing besides that. So that's why I went there, and the doctor I got was amazing. And she told me all about the Zofran stuff, and then she was like, so there's this new medication specifically for pregnant women and morning sickness, and it's called, I always get this wrong, Diclegis, I believe that's how you pronounce it. There are ads all over YouTube that I keep seeing with that Emily Maynard chick for the Diclegis pill, and I kept skipping the ads, and then I finally realized that I had been prescribed that in the ER. And so I watched the ad, and she was talking about how she was just as sick as I was, and that it helped her. So I was like, yeah, Diclegis, woo woo. So I got a prescription for that in the hospital. And just, the hospital wasn't, there is a lot of things I could talk about for my ER visit, but just to sum it up, I went there, I got seen super fast. Probably I got a room within like maybe 20 minutes. It was just great. And they put me in an IV. I got 2 bags of fluid, and then they did the blood and urine, and my potassium was really low. It was like under 2, and they said it's supposed to be like a 3, 3.5, or something like that. And I've had that problem before when I had a really severe kidney infection. I almost actually died from that. But I had to get an IV that time of potassium, and the nurse then forgot to dilute it. So the second it hit my bloodstream, it was the most excruciating pain ever. It felt like my whole arm was filled with poison. I was in so much pain. I was screaming at the top of my lungs. This was a couple years ago, by the way. It was so bad. So I remembered that, and I told this nurse, I was like, I have had this before, and it was really, really excruciating. So could you just make sure that it's diluted and stuff? And he was a super amazing nurse. He was like, of course, sorry that happened to you. It'll be uncomfortable this time, but it won't be that bad. Because it goes through the saline. It mixes with the saline in your IV and then goes into your bloodstream. So it's a mixture of saline and the potassium, not just the straight potassium. And when they give you potassium, they have to monitor your heart, because I guess it can affect your heart in negative ways possibly, or if you have a pre-existing heart condition, it can bring stuff out. So I had to be on a heart monitor for that too. But the shitty thing was eventually the saline did run out, so it was just potassium going in, and it hurt like a motherfucker, dude. I started crying and moaning, and I pressed the doctor's call button because I was hooked up to my IV, so I couldn't go out there and be like, yo, go come change this, more saline. So I was hitting the button, and he wasn't coming, and I knew that he probably wasn't going to notice it because I did that earlier before, and he didn't notice when I had hit it. So I was waiting there, sitting, and I just started crying and moaning out loud, and to be honest, I did that so he would maybe hear me and realize that, I need some help. And thank God he heard me and came in and was so awesome. He quickly stopped it, put another saline thing in it. So I only got a minute, maybe 2 minutes of that painful, awful potassium drip. Ugh, that was awful. So I got that, and then that was all good and dandy. And they gave me the prescription for the diclegis, and I went home and I felt awesome that night. So awesome that I was able to eat a whole Hungry Man fried chicken dinner, which I was skeptical about eating. I was like, I really think this is a little heavy, but the mashed potatoes and the corn are pretty bland, so I mostly just ate that. And it was awesome. And I slept really well and felt really awesome, of course, since I had 2 bags of fluid and the potassium and my body food, blood sugar was all up, so I was feeling good. I see that this video is getting really long, so I'm about to cut it off. I can't even explain to you how freaking sick I was, you guys, but 7 weeks has been a lot better. I turned 7 weeks on I wrote my timing down. I turned 7 weeks last Tuesday, so whatever that was, April 20, whatever. And so 7 weeks has been a lot better. So what I think happened was I think I got sick on top of that really bad nausea that I had, because I've been sick this week, for week 7, but I haven't been as sick as I was that previous weekend. And I haven't even so this sucked. So I went to get my prescription, and they were like, your insurance doesn't cover diclegis, so we gave you Zofran. I explained to the pharmacist why I didn't want to take Zofran. She was like, let me look it up. She was like, there's no proof that it causes, there's no specific link that it does anything in the first trimester. There's just a possibility that it does. So if you need to take it, freaking take it. But if you don't really need to, don't. And that's what I was kind of going to do already. And I haven't even had to open that prescription, touch it at all, and I'm hoping I won't have to, knock on wood. Because, I'm just really hoping that was just a flu and morning sickness combined. Because that was just horrific. I've had a lot of excess spit, which has made the nausea and the puking and stuff a lot worse, and because it's made me cough. I have asthma too, so that's been shitty. I was super dizzy all the time. Like my equilibrium felt like it was always off all the time when I would stand up or like on the bus or something for 6 weeks. And now it's easing up a lot more at 7 weeks. I'll still have those moments where I feel a little dizzy, but not last week where I would literally like get the spins. And that combined with the nausea, forget about it, man. Still been moody. I've been a little bit more testy, irritable lately, but that's to be expected. You know, I'm not feeling so great either, so of course I'm going to be a little bit grouchy too, probably. Severely constipated from 5 and 6 weeks. Severely constipated, like no going to the bathroom for me. And now that's finally eased up. So that's awesome. I'm pretty much hungry 24/7, and I'm figured out that that's one of the major causes of my nausea. But it really sucks because I'm physically hungry, but I don't have an appetite. So I'll know I need to eat, but everything sounds disgusting and horrible and awful to me and just makes me want to puke. So it's really a fun line to walk between wanting to throw up, but also wanting to eat a lot. So as far as symptoms, that's about it. I've still had some pretty crazy vivid dreams. Nothing insane, but my dreams have definitely been more vivid since getting pregnant. And I also have noticed like my psychic intuition is like so spot on, and I've read that a lot of people believe pregnancy can heighten if you have any extra senses. And as far as that's it. My 8-week appointment is tomorrow, so I might possibly do a 8-week update tomorrow if I have any pictures or videos to include. So yeah, this was insanely long. Sorry about that, guys, but thank you so much for watching me. Please leave a comment below if you're pregnant, or let me know more about you in the comments below. I'd love to know who's watching. Thanks, guys.